Namaste students. In Scratch, we have many different blocks. Among that, control blocks are responsible for loops and conditional statement. Control blocks are used to manage the flow of scripts. Using control blocks, scripts can be looped, paused, and their flow can be changed under certain conditions. It has two different control blocks. One conditional control blocks, the other one is loops control block. The conditional control blocks has two different blocks, if block and then if else block. Loops control blocks has forever block, repeat block and forever if block. The other control blocks are wait, when key pressed, broadcast, broadcast and wait, stop script, stop all script. Let's begin with if block. In if block, if the condition specified is true, then the script inside is executed. All conditions are in the form of execute shape. Let me show you an example. Drag and drop if block to the script area, and I use the control when this sprite clicked. Here the condition is touching mouse pointer. So as I touch the mouse pointer, the sprite has to move to 10 steps. Now I'll check. As I touch the sprite, it moves for 10 steps. Let's take a look on if else block. Now drag and drop if else block to the script area. Here I use the control block when green flag clicked. And I use the condition 10 greater than 50. If 10 is greater than 50, the sprite should say greater, or else it should say smaller. Let me check now. So 10 is smaller than 50, so the sprite says smaller. Now let me change the number. I change the number as 90. 90 is greater than 50. So as I change the number, the sprite says greater. This is how the if else block checks for the condition. Now let's take a look on other control blocks. When key pressed. When specified key is pressed, then script starts running. The list of keys options can be seen by click on down arrow in the block. Forever block. Forever block can be used to run the script inside again and again. You can drop. It will never stop. It will continuously run the script forever. Repeat block. Repeat block loops the script for the specified number of times. Let me show you an example. Drag and drop the repeat block to the script area and use the control when the sprite clicked. Now I go to the motion block and select drag and drop, glide 1 second to the random position so that the sprite will randomly runs through the stage. The sprite will repeat the action for 10 times. Let's take a look on wait block. Wait block will pause the script for specified amount of time. You can see this example. As I repeat the action for 3 times, after every 15 degree of the turn, the sprite stops for 1 second. So it is waiting for 1 second. So every time the sprite rotates for 15 degree, it will wait for 1 second. So after the 1 second, it will continue the action. So if I repeat the action for 12 times, it will do the action for 12 times. And it turns to 15 degree and waits for 1 second. Now let's move on to broadcast. Broadcast will send message to all sprites and then continues to the next block without waiting. Whereas broadcast and wait will send message to all sprites and waits until they finish before continuing to the next block. Using broadcast, we can create a conversation between two sprites. Let me show you an example. Let's add a new sprite. Now move on to the first sprite. When I click on the first sprite, it should say hello, and it has to broadcast the hello message to all other sprites. Now move on to the next second sprite. As the second sprite receives the hello message from the first sprite, it has to respond to it. After responding to it, it has to broadcast the message to sprite 1. Here, the sprite 1 says hello, and it broadcasts the hello message. Now, as the second sprite receives the hello message, it says, "Hi Kitty, how are you?" And it will broadcast this "Hi Kitty, how are you" message to the sprite 1. Now, as the sprite 1 receives the "How are you" message, it has to say, "I'm fine. Shall we play?" It is asking, and then it has to broadcast this play message. As it broadcasts this play message, we can go to the sprite 2 and receive the message. As the sprite 2 receives the message to play message, it has to say the reply to it. So I use think block. So it says, yes, we will play. So this is how we build conversation between two or more sprites. Next we have stop script, stop all scripts. Stop script will stop the current script, whereas stop all scripts will stop all the script in all the sprites. By using the control block, we have learned how to control the blocks, inserting of conditional statement, loops, repeats and pauses. Control blocks are great for adding interactivity to your project. So let's practice, imagine, and build your creativity. Let's learn operators in Scratch. Arithmetic operators. It does addition of two numbers, subtraction of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers, and division of two numbers. Let me show you an example. Here in addition operator, I have 7 plus 9. The answer is 16. Next comes subtraction, 13 minus 7, 6. Next goes to the multiplication. Here we have 5 into 8. The answer is 40. Here we go with division. Let's divide the number 64 divided by 8. Check the answer. The answer is 8. Next we go with relational operators. Relational means it relates two operands. That is, it compares two numbers and gives us the result like greater than or equal to, lesser than or equal to, greater than, lesser than. Let's check an example. Here we have 66 greater than 50. It is true. 43 lesser than 50. It is true. If I change the value of 43, 66 lesser than 50. No, it is false. The answer is false. Let's go with the equal to. 67 equal to 50. No, it is false. 50 equal to 50? Yes, it is true. Likewise, we can just compare the two numbers in relational operators. Here we go with logical operators. Logical operators are used to compare two or more conditions at a time. In logical operators, we have AND operator, OR operator, and NOT operator. Let's check AND operator. AND operator returns a true value when all the conditions are true. Here I have 67 greater than 50, it is true. And 67 less than 50, it is false. And if we combine the two results, we get the answer as false. Let me change the value. If 67, if I change the value as 45, it is lesser than 50. In AND operator, both the conditions should be true, then it returns true value. If any one of the condition is false, then it returns a false value. Next, we'll go with the OR operator. Let's see an example. Here we have 67 greater than 50. It returns a true value. Let's change the other number. If both the value are true, then it returns true. In OR operator, it returns a true value when any one of the condition is true. So here we can see 67 less than 50 is a true value. 67 greater than 50 is true value. Here both the conditions are true. Next comes NOT operator. In NOT operator, it works only one condition, changing a true value to false and changing a false value to true. Let me check. 50 equal to 50 is a true value, whereas it is not, so it returns a false. If 45 equal to 50 is false, in NOT operator it returns as true. Let's learn string functions. In string functions, we have join, letter, length of. In join, it will join two letters. The join operator will have two strings. It will join the two strings. Here I am changing the first string. That is, I am deleting the apple and I type I love banana. So you can just change the string in the join block. If you want to join two strings, you can just use this join block. Here I just type I love banana. So we get the result as I love banana. We get both the strings combined. Yes. Now let me check the next string function, letter. If you want to find out the letter in a word, you can just use the letter. In the word apple, if you want to find out the first letter, you can just check. The first letter of an apple is A. If I change the string as mathematical, let me check. As I delete the word apple and I type mathematical, here I change the letter. Which letter I am going to find? I am going to find the sixth letter in the word mathematical. So the answer is M. Yes, the sixth letter of the word mathematical is M. Let's learn the next length of. If you want to find out the length of a word, you can just check with this block, length of. The word apple has 5 strings. It has 5 texts. If I go with a different word, here I am going to type a word computer. In a word computer, we have how many letters? Let me check. In a word computer, we have 8 letters. Next, we go with mathematical functions. In mathematical functions, we have mod, round, square root of. The mod displays the remainder of two numbers. As I type 15 mod of 2, so the remainder is 1. So this is the use of mod operator. Next, let me check with round. The round operator displays the number rounded to the nearest tens place. As I type 45.78, as I round, I get 48. Next, go with the square root. if I want to find out the square root of the number 25, as I click on this, I get the answer as 5. So if you want to find out the square root of any value, you can just use this operator. So children, as we have learned the operators in Scratch, we have learned the different operators: arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, string functions, and mathematical functions. Hope you all enjoy this. Let's learn how to create variables. To create a variables, click on Variables block from Block Palette. Click on Make a variable from Variables block palette. A message box appears. Type a variable name in this box. Choose one of the two options, for all sprites or for the sprite only, and click OK. When this variable is created, following blocks will appear. Set speed to 0. It will initialize the value of the variable. Change speed by 1. To change the value of the variable, we can use change speed by 1. Next, show variable. This will show the variable in the stage area. If you want to hide the variable, you can use hide variable. Let me show you an example. Drag and drop when green flag clicked. Go to the variables block, drag and drop set speed to 0 so that it can initialize the value as 0. Then go to the motion block, drag and drop, go to X position and Y position and change the value of X as 0 and Y as 62. Now drag and drop, repeat until block. And then go to the sensing block, drag and drop, touching edge. Then go to the variables block, drag and drop, change variable by -1 so that we can change the variable as speed, change speed by -1. Then go to the motion block, drag and drop, change Y by 0. Here we can change the 0 by variable speed. So go to the variables block, drag and drop speed variable. Then go to the control block, drag and drop, wait 1 second. Here I have created the apple to fall on the stage so that I have initialized the speed variable as 0 and set the apple position initially and change the speed of apple step by step to make the apple fall down. Now as I click on the green flag, the apple moves down to the ground and the variable speed show on the screen display a value which is incremented from 0 till it touches the ground. Let's learn types of variables. In Scratch, the variables are of two types: global variable or private variables. Global variables are used by all sprites, whereas private variables can be used by only one sprite. To make your variable a global variable, you have to select for all sprite so that your variable will be used by all the sprites in the stage. If you want your variable to be used by only one sprite, then you can choose for the sprite only. This is the private variable. Now you can know the difference between for all sprites and for the sprite only. Let's learn pick random block. The pick random block is used to generate a random number from a specified range. It is available in the operators block category. Let's see an example of pick random block. If I want my sprite to choose the random number automatically, I can use pick random block. Now go to the control block, drag and drop when green flag clicked. Then drag and drop forever block. Then go to the looks block, drag and drop say block for 2 seconds. Go to the operators block, drag and drop pick random 1 to 10. Drop it inside the say block so that the sprite will randomly generate the numbers from 1 to 10. Let's check the output by clicking on the green flag. As I click on the green flag, you can see The sprite is randomly generating the numbers. These blocks are very useful when creating challenges in games. We can make the sprite to do the actions randomly. So, we have learned about the variables in Scratch and how to create a variable and the types of variable in Scratch. Hope you all understand the variables in Scratch. Thank you, children. See you all in the next class.